I'm Julianne, and I'm with the blog blissfulbutopia.com. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about ovulation tracking and how you might be able to use this method to effectively help you conceive or to help you prevent pregnancy, and it's all without the use of hormones. So let's start with the basics. What's the difference between a period and ovulating? Ovulation happens when you have an LH surge. This is a chemical that is released into your body and it tells your ovaries to release an egg. It is shortly after this happens that you are at your most fertile. A period, on the other hand, is when your uterus sheds its inner lining and gets rid of the egg that it's not going to use. So when do you ovulate? You ovulate pretty much right in between your periods, but that doesn't give you an exact date, especially if you don't have regular periods. So there's some really effective tools to help you be able to tell what your body is doing. The first of my favorite tools to use is called a Basil Temperature Monitor. A Basil Temperature Monitor gives you a more accurate measurement of your internal temperature. To use a basal temperature monitor, you need to try to take your temperature at the same time every morning. Take it before you've gotten up, before you've spoken, before you've drank, or before you've eaten anything. You'll notice around the time that you're going to have an LH surge that your temperature will go up and then drop. In addition to looking for that spike in temperature, you can also use what are called ovulation strips. Ovulation strips do not need to be expensive. I've linked below the source that I've used to be able to get inexpensive ovulation strips. The ones that I use look like this. So here's your ovulation strip. You dip the end of your strip in a little bit of urine and allow it to absorb into the strip. Using ovulation strips to prevent pregnancy can be a little bit tricky, and it's important that you understand a few things. There's always going to be two lines for you to compare, and keep in mind that you will always have two lines. You want to use your ovulation strips for pretty much the entire week around when you are going to be ovulating. You can't just take an ovulation strip right before you have sex to see if you're ovulating right at that moment. The reason being that sperm can live in your body for several days, so it is possible to get pregnant a few days after having sex. So it is important that you monitor around the entire week of ovulation. Now, depending on when your periods are and when you ovulate in between them, your most likely time to get pregnant would be shortly after your period up until the time that you ovulate. Let's talk about how to read your ovulation strip. Keep in mind you will always have two lines whether you are ovulating or not. It is how dark the line is that tells you when you are having a surge. The side that is predicting your LH hormone will be light when you are not ovulating or at the beginning of ovulation. The closer you get to your surge, the darker in color it will get in comparison to the other line. The best way to monitor and keep track of this is with an app. I use one called Pre-Mom. Here is an example of my ovulation. I started taking them around the week that I knew that I would be ovulating. The light purple represents the time that I am most fertile and likely to get pregnant. The LH starts low, suddenly spikes, and as soon as the LH surge is over, it dips back down. Once the LH surge is over, this is the time that you usually release your egg and are most fertile for the next 24 to 48 hours. So I'm going to recap on some important things. After your period is over, you will be ovulating within about a week of that. It's important to be a little bit more careful around this time if you don't want to get pregnant. Sperm can live in your body for up to 5 days. So again, for this reason, if you do not want to get pregnant, be very careful around the week of ovulation. Once you have hit your LH surge, you are most fertile within 24 to 48 hours after that. That is when the egg is released. Beyond that 24 to 48 hour window, you should be quite safe to not get pregnant if you have regular periods. These are the basics of how it works, but not everyone is the same. I do encourage you to do your own research, maybe talk to your doctor, and monitor your body for a while before you start this method alone. However, if you're looking for a method that does not use hormones to be able to prevent or conceive, this has worked for me. I've been able to successfully use this method for the last few years. Here at Blissful Butopia, we homeschool, we cook, we make all sorts of fun things, and we really enjoy it when people tune in and watch with us. I hope this has been helpful to you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.